And our first guest in studio is Karis Rea, who is an American political commentator and also a journalist, longtime television journalist in the process, as well of writing a book. And welcome to the studio. And thank you for coming to Israel to hang out with us.
Thank you, Emily. It's great to be here with you.
So a lot's happened since I saw you. We were on a trip, a very special trip for the March of the Living,
Yes.
almost quite some time ago already. And we were really talking about the rising wave of anti-Semitism on the right. And, tell us more. How has it morphed and evolved? Has it gotten worse? Or is it more of the same because of the Trump administration trying to keep things, smooth?
That's a great question. And despite the fact that we now have Trump in office, I would say that it's really gotten worse. And this is because it's more of a cultural trend. It's not so much administrative or political, part of the political or bureaucratic class, It's really happening from the ground up, and it's circulating throughout online channels that then spill over into real life. And that's why people are very worried that come the next presidential election, is this going to rise to the level of state sanctioned policy? That's the really big question, because as of now, we do have a very strong Israel supporter and supporter of Jews in the White House. And what comes next, that's anyone's guess.
Well, and I think, this conference was really addressed a lot of these issues. I mean, there are a lot of such conferences. But, as far as finding solutions, being there, speaking, getting together, are there active, novel kind of solutions to combat this?
Unfortunately, they're not coordinated enough. That's really the problem. We really do need creative, out-of-the-box solutions for this, right? Because we do not want to be, we're dealing with a whole different animal here. We do not want to be censoring people on social media. Conservatives had enough of that during COVID. They have a right to be anti-Semitic. They have a right to hate Jews. And I do not want to be teaming up with the ADL to try to suppress their hate speech, because in America, hate speech is protected under the First Amendment. So we really have to, like I said, think outside of the box and get creative here. We need to start forming relationships with our Christian allies, because Christian Zionism, as I've said many times, is the last bastion of philo-Semitism in America. And that's one of the reasons why they are being targeted so heavily by anti-Semites, but not only Jew haters, also America's enemies, Russia and China and Qatar, although they are to some people not an enemy. I'm sure in Israel, many of us agree that they are. So yeah, we need to tackle this on multiple fronts, and we have to start gatekeeping. I know that many conservatives are worried that amounts to cancel culture, but I would argue that conservative principles are based in morality, based in biblical values. And if we don't draw the lines in terms of who we welcome into our movement, then there's no reason why we wouldn't end up just like the left. Look at what happened with the progressives and the squad, it's just, there's no middle anymore to the Democratic Party.
So also when you have influencers like Nick Fuentes and, Candace Owens and people, like this, we know young people are impressionable and, they want to stand for something. Yes, there's free speech, but also people are vulnerable to, being influenced by people like that.
Oh, absolutely. That speaks to a much bigger problem of a world of screens that we are now enmeshed in from an early age, right? Because young people are no longer building their identities and finding ideas through reading books or even sitting down and watching Fox News. People are getting their ideas about society, about politics, about culture from memes, from X, from TikTok, from Snapchat, from AI. Exactly. And so, there's this what is it called? It's like the 6-second expert or something. They say that all these young people are now.
Instead of the Monday morning quarterback, now it's a 6-second expert.
Yeah, it's like everybody is an expert, for 6 seconds in whatever topic that they are forced to address, because that's all their brains can handle, really. It's not their fault in a sense. We are now raised in a culture that feeds us information at a speed and volume that we are not developed to actually properly absorb, right? So, when people are talking about AIPAC and when people are talking about the Talmud and World War II, all they can do is spit out talking points. There's no substance beneath that.
Yeah.
And so one of the ways that you fight that is you have to be able to condense responses into very palatable, reachable ideas. And that's very hard to do when we're dealing with complex issues like conflict in the Middle East.
Well, thank you very much. And I know you're working on a book, so we'll have to talk to you again when you finish that. I know that's a lot of work, and I'm sure going to be a huge accomplishment when you finish.
Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work. And thank you for coming into the studio.
My pleasure.